Okay, what's going on, everybody? I heard somebody give a definition of white privilege, and I want to know what you think it is. Somebody said that white privilege was something you was given because you didn't really have any rights, that the Constitution wasn't written for you nor by you. And as we know, a privilege is something given to people who don't have any rights. Do you believe that? I do know that license mean you taking a right and converting it to a privilege when you have a license. That's why all those licenses are illegal because you have freedom of travel. You don't need no license to travel. You don't need no license to work. You don't need no license to do anything. In French, a degree is a license. It's the same word. So y'all have been bamboozled, led astray. You think you're free. Hey, what's going on? White privilege doesn't exist. Where you been living at under a rock? Where you been living at under a rock? You say that because you're blind, deaf, and dumb. As long as you think it doesn't exist, you probably think racism doesn't exist. You probably think that everybody's treated fairly and equally. You probably think that there's no such thing as prison slavery. That prisons is a slavery system authorized by the 13th Amendment. You probably think the Constitution included everybody and that you wrote the Constitution. I don't blame you. This is the way you have been miseducated. You've been miseducated. You probably think this Western country was created by Europeans. No, it wasn't. Everything you see was created by Moors. In other words, the people from Africa civilized the world, and you don't even know it. And you're given privileges. And you're right, they don't exist because because uh because you really don't exist. White don't really exist. See, by you acknowledging it, by you saying it doesn't exist, you just gave it existence. You see? If it didn't exist, you wouldn't even acknowledge it that it didn't exist. So you proved a point. Thank you. Thank you for giving proof to something that doesn't exist. I don't blame y'all. That's the way the government schools teach y'all these things. Just think, you've been taught the lies all your life. Your whole life, you have been miseducated, misled. But all that is ending now. This is a new paradigm shift coming. Oh, yeah. And nobody can stop it. And Judgment Day means everybody going to pay for their sins. And when they say the sins of the fathers have to be visited on the children. See, your parents didn't pay for their sins, so the children got to pay for them. I mean, it's not your fault, but it's your problem, which you say do not exist. You see, that's the price you pay for ignorance. Yeah, that's the price you pay for ignorance. Y'all created this mess. Y'all created this mess. No, we created it. Let me put that on y'all. We created it because we started intermingling outside of our race. That started in Europe. We start going against our religion and intermarrying outside of our race, and we created a race that turned against their fathers. Even now, half the people think they're white. They're not white. They're mixed somewhere along the line. You can't live in a country 200 or 300 years and say you don't have any indigenous blood in you. So you're a walking contradiction. You're a walking lie. You probably don't know who your great 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 grandfather is. Okay, what other things y'all got for me? Oh, I'm getting some nasty messages in here. When they say messages hell for review, uh, I don't have no birthdays. I only had one birthday. What's wrong with you? I'm not your boy. I'm a man, and you a zero. You got that right. You a zero. You said it, not me. 0 at 49. Wow. Somebody need to come in and start telling me about Jesus. I'm ready for that. I'm waiting for some white supremacists to come in. And surprised they haven't came in first. Yeah, they want to put that white Jesus on us. Tell us turn the other cheek. That stuff don't work anymore. And unfortunately, the youth today, they're not like my generation. I mean, you've created a beast. You creating beasts here now. They're not turning the other cheek. They're not taking the mess that our grandparents took. They're not taking it. So I'm just giving you fair warning to treat people right. Treat people right. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Isn't that what Christians say? But why can't y'all do that? Why is it so hard for y'all to just even though you love our sports, that's the only time you root for us. And when we playing sports, you say yay, yay, yay. But when it comes to us getting what do us in this world, you have nothing to say. The silent majority. And that's why evil exists. Because so called good people don't do a thing. So how can they say they're good people if they don't do nothing? If you don't fight against evil, guess what? You supporting it. There's no sitting on the fence here. You're either fighting for righteousness or you're fighting for evil. If you're one of these silent people, you're fighting for evil. I have no respect for people like that. I see all the good people in prison, and not because they did crimes, because they did what's right and a victim of crimes. They are victim of crime. Take drugs, for example. The people who were in there for drugs, they didn't bring no drugs to this country. We didn't bring drugs. Why are we guilty of drug crimes? Oh, because you're forced to make a living. And when you destroyed our communities, we couldn't give ourselves jobs. You definitely was giving us no jobs. Not something we can actually make a living off of. So your children is going to suffer, and Y'all still not gonna do right. It's just not in your nature to do right. Who is the real criminal when you say punished for crimes? Who are the criminals? Who are the criminals? I want you to tell me that. When you destroy people's identity, culture, neighborhoods, and you call them criminals and blame us, say you need to pull your bootstraps up when you done took the boots and the straps away from us. You say, I come from a different generation. I'm pretty young. I remember when we had our own neighborhoods. We didn't have no criminal activity in our neighborhood. We had houses. We didn't have apartments. Everybody got along. We didn't need to go downtown. We had our own towns and our own cities. Everything we needed in walking distance. Doctors around the block, dentists 2 blocks up the street. See, I grew up in that type of environment. We owned taxi cabs, we owned bus lines. We didn't need y'all people for anything. See, the slavery started in the 1950s with this civil rights and this integration. That's when slavery started. Before then, there was no slavery for us, but you were the slaves. This is the lie they won't tell you. The Slavic people are slaves. We had you as slaves in Europe, and we brought some of y'all here and let y'all get started building your own little country. Yeah, we allow you to do that. But then you turned and took the whole continent and turned it against us, made us the enemies on our own land that we let you use, changed the Constitution, which was the Articles of Confederation. You changed it to suit you. Oh, you did all kind of evil things, you know. You know the things they don't teach you in school. The teachers, some professors do teach it and they're ostracized. The professors who teach the truth, they're ostracized. There are a few who will get away with it, but they don't teach the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You know, just like with the epidemic, everybody was on the same page, lying, lying, lying. If you spoke the truth, you was put in line quickly. So same thing. That was a good example of how peer pressure keeps y'all dumbed down. You see, the thing about being who we are, we're not fragile. We're not fragile. We're strong. We're made to be strong. Being oppressed makes you strong. If you never have anything hard in your life, you become very fragile. You can't take any kind of pain. You can't take you get angry just by the way somebody dress. Why should that make you angry? Why should it hurt your feelings? How somebody look? That show you how fragile you are. White advantage instead of white privilege. I won't say y'all got an advantage. I say you have a disadvantage. We got the advantage. I'll give you an example. I can go outside and sit in the sun and get the energy from the sun and be energized like all life forms. You can't do that. You're a disadvantage. You get out there and burn. So who's got the advantage in nature? Look, you don't have any advantage, and you know it. Everything about you is a disadvantage. You used to try to curl your hair like us back in the 50s. You hated your hair. You hate your skin color. You hate it. I know it. But there's nothing you can do about it. Well, maybe if you tell dark skinned people they're inferior, maybe you feel better about your skin color. But you just a small portion of the world. Most people on the earth is brown skin. So where's your advantage in that? You see, you had to be the way you are because of your disadvantages. You had to be conquerors and take other people's lands. You had to do that because you don't belong in a place.